I'm Carl Schwait, and I'm the senior partner. I was raised in Bucks County, Pennsylvania. I went to the University of Rochester, which is a university in northern New York. I went to the University of Miami College of Law, and I graduated in 1976. In addition to law, I wanted to have some sort of commitment to what was happening in my community. In South Florida, I spent 14 years where I represented both plaintiffs and defendants and tried a fair amount of cases. I also spent 6 years on the City Commission, the City of South Miami. But I realized at that point that my family was more important than my political career, and I felt that I wanted my children to be raised in a smaller, less urban community. And so in February of 1990, I made a decision to chase a dream that came true by being a small-town lawyer. For the last 7 years, I've been the singular representative to the Board of Governors of the Florida Bar. And the Florida Bar, of course, is 100,000 lawyers. And the Board of Governors actually runs the Florida Bar. Of course, we have an executive director and people who actually are working, but all of the major decisions are either made by the Board of Governors or recommend certain things to the Florida Supreme Court. And the Board of Governors is 50 lawyers who are elected, each in their own home area, and 2 non-lawyers, those 2 non-lawyers picked by the Supreme Court. And I have been lucky enough now, I'm in my 4th term as the person who represents the 6 counties that encompass and are part of the 8th Judicial Circuit, including Alachua County, where Gainesville is located. Right now, after these years, I'm the chairman of the Disciplinary Review Committee. And when I say chair, the committee is so large, it's the largest committee of the Board of Governors, that we have 2 people, so I'm actually the co-chair. This is my 2nd term doing that, and so I am part of the Board of Governors, as well as I teach a course, a 4-credit course, and I have now 14 different times at the University of Florida 11 College of Law called Trial Practice. And so I'm committed to the education of law students, and so I've been very involved since 1992 at the law school. By teaching them, I'm learning things about trial practice, but I'm also learning about communication skills. I'm getting handle people, how to relate to people. So I've always felt like every time I go and I teach a course, and I teach evidence, and I teach opening statement, I teach direct examination. When I teach the course or do the research for whatever lecture I'm doing, of course, I do 2 things. Because at this point, as a senior partner and a person who has been blessed to be able to bring in the work, I'm also giving work out to young lawyers, and I think I continue to mentor them just like I mentor the law students. I think one of my strengths as a lawyer is that I outwork other people. I believe that instead of reading a deposition once, I'll read it twice. And I never would go to a hearing or a deposition without preparing, as easy as it may be, or as many times as I've been to that same hearing. I believe that preparation, thinking about the case, thinking about your argument to the court or to the jury, or thinking about questions you're going to ask at a deposition, is really much more important than how smart you are. I believe that in the world of litigation and representation and development of clients and relationship with clients, that much more than innate intelligence is thinking out the case, working it up, crossing out what you don't like, adding what you do like, dotting every I, crossing every T. And I think that if anybody hires me, they're going to know that I'm going to be totally dedicated to your case. When that case is on the docket, that deposition is up, I have to plan to write something. And that each case, whether it's big or whether it's small, gets the same intensity because it's important to the client. So the person who has the large case, of course that case is, oh my gosh, but to the person who has just a small case, that case is just important to them because it's all personal. And I make sure, and I've taught the lawyers, that every case is important to the client. big or small, and you need to put the same intensity and thought process into it. And I think that's the basis for success.